Hello, 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 unlearners. Welcome officially to the Mid-Year Reset webinar. It's so exciting to have you. Thank you for making the time to be here and to be here live, which I think is probably one of the best ways to enjoy, especially what is going to be an incredible experience, super interactive, really practical, but also an opportunity for us to hold space for each other and to hold each other accountable, which is probably one of the biggest things that makes a great impact as far as our unlearning journeys go. So as you join us, please go ahead and let me know, where are you joining us from today? So you can either share your city, you can share your country, whichever one you feel comfortable with, or if you want to just say that you're joining us from bed, joining us from the couch, that works as well. Also, just to confirm that you can hear me, you're able to see me, you are present, you are ready, you are excited for what I think is going to be an amazing webinar. To be completely honest and full disclosure here, the Mid-Year Reset webinar is one of those points in every single year that I look forward to so much. I mark my calendar, we mark our calendar internally as a team to make sure that we have given our complete selves to this particular webinar, but also that we can honor you. We can honor where you are in your unlearning journey. So welcome, Chris. So lovely to see you. Thank you so much for making the time. Hi, Paulina. It's lovely to have everyone else here in the room as well. Let us know, where are you in the world? Where are you joining us from? Where are you right now? And we will have an opportunity, and you'll see as we go on with the rest of our time together, to just check in and make sure that we have centered ourselves as far as giving the best version of ourselves to this webinar as is possible. And on that particular note, I want to just invite you that your device, all your devices, in fact, please make sure that your devices are put away. And if something that's an emergency does come up, feel free to just jump out and address it and then come right back into the room. So that's the very first thing. Minimize all distractions. I always say your favorite TikTok influencer will still be there when the webinar is over. So jump in, be present, and then you can jump back off when we finish to your favorite influencer. But this webinar deserves your fullest attention and your presence and all your dedication today. So please make sure that you jump right in. And then the second thing that's really important for us as we create the space is go ahead. Make sure you've got every single tool that you need, and we'll go through a list of a few different things that are going to make sure that this experience is as impactful as is possible for you as well. So maybe let's jump right into that. Another thing that's important for us to know before we jump into that list is technicalities. So if you find yourself losing your sound, losing your video, or somehow being kicked off the platform, don't stress. Usually that does happen for a range of different reasons. So jump back on and be present with us again. So as soon as you get kicked off, if that happens, just jump right back into the webinar and continue your time with us. I promise it won't be long. As long as you've got an internet connection that you can trust, you should be okay for today. So on that note, we've got so much to cover. So I want to jump right in, get excited with you, but also start to understand exactly why you're here and make sure that we can make the most of our time together. So on the note of making sure that you and I know exactly what we want to do, but also we have come prepared as far as today's webinar goes, here's a quick checklist. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to do each of the items one at a time. You're going to go into the chats and let me know. Give me the word check as we go through the list to tell me that you are ready with that particular item. So let's start with item number one. Item number one is hydration. If you've got your water, you've got your juice, you've got your coffee, you've got your tea, you've got your whatever it is. I'm not judging today, ever actually. Whatever your hydration is, if you've got your hydration intact, give me the word check in the comments. And then feel free to let me know what it is, but you don't have to. Just give me the word check so I know we are all ready to sip as we need to, right? And I've got mine ready to go. Give me the word check in the chat. Oh, you forgot your water, Liz. You can run and grab some water if you are in a position to do that. Hopefully you're not operating any heavy machinery, but please run and grab something. Good, brilliant. Chris, I'm ready. I love seeing this. So let's jump right into the next one. So the next one, you see a pair of cozy slippers. Now, you don't have to have cozy slippers, but what I mean by that one is make sure you're in an environment where you feel safe and your nervous system is regulated. So you're feeling comfortable. You're surrounded by things that make you help you to feel calm and to regulate. So I've got a comfy pillow behind me or cushion behind me. I've got my candles burning in the background. I've got a beautiful environment around me. I feel calm. I feel safe. I feel centered. So let me know if that's a check for you. Are you cozy? I think that's the most important thing. And we think of it as cozy. Are you cozy? Give me a check. Khomotso, I see you saying you're feeling cozy. Paulina, all good. Lorraine, lovely to see you. All good. Fantastic. I love this. We're on a roll with this. Okay, so let's jump right into the next one. Hi, Vanessa. So good to see you. Let's jump right into the next one. So the one right in the middle is your goal. So you can think of it as your vision board, and maybe let's split the two actually. The one right in the middle is your vision board. If you started this year off with a very, very clear vision of what you wanted to create, who you wanted to be, please give me a check, and you've got your vision board with you. So if you created something of a vision board, you've created something of a visual representation of who you wanted to be, how you wanted to show up this year, and you've got that with you, please give me a check in the comments. If you didn't create one, no train smash. Don't stress. It's okay. Just for those of us that do have one, if you can run quickly and grab your vision board, it's going to be very beneficial, because today's about accountability. And how do you know what to hold yourself accountable to unless you've got that right here with you? Beautiful. Hi, Lily. So good to see you. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we're almost done with this checklist, I promise. Next thing, your goals. Now, this might be a little bit more for the individuals that don't have a vision board with them, but either way, if you've got a list of your top goals for the year, the goals that you set when you started the year, concrete, whether it's SMART or you're using another method, there are different tools that we can use to measure effectiveness of goals. But whatever it is, if you've got a list of your goals for this year, give me a check in the comments. Let's see who's got a list of their goals with them. I've got my vision board here. I've got my goals on my phone. I'm ready. Like, I didn't come to play today. Beautiful. Chris, you're on a roll. I love this. I love this. Who else has got a list of their goals? And if you don't have it with you, open it up, grab it, wherever it is. If it is close by, grab it. If it's not, please don't worry. It's okay. If you've got some kind of an idea as to who you wanted to be this year, that will suffice as well. Very nice, Liz. Okay, and then last but not least is the energy. If you are feeling energetic, if you are feeling pumped, if you are feeling ready, if you're feeling aligned, if you're feeling excited, you're feeling hopeful, that's the last one. So go ahead. Let me know. Are you feeling all of those things, or at least one of those things? You're feeling excited, you're feeling optimistic, you're ready for this, you're ready to go, your energy levels are doing okay. Beautiful. I love this. Mbali, I see your comments in the chat. If you are having some trouble, please either restart your browser, so reload the page, or jump off and then jump right back in, because the broadcast has officially started. And then now that we've done that checklist, if you've got everything, you are very much like me, an overachiever. If you've got absolutely everything on that list, give me an everything in the chat so we know who all of our overachievers are. And the rest of us, don't stress. If you've got at least 3 of those things, you are in a position to make the most of this webinar. Beautiful. So I'm going to just ask, as we now kick off and get right into the rest of the webinar, get practical. I give you some tools that we can work with, but we also start with an audit of exactly where you're sitting with your goals. Please note that Lily and a few members of the team, so you'll see Lily and Asanda. Lily and Asanda, if you are in the chat, say hi. So everyone knows Lily and Asanda are from the Unlearners team. So they're here to support anything that you feel you might need. If you're having some technical difficulties, if you're not sure where something is, or if you're looking for the link to the Unlearning Circle, any of that stuff, they'll be able to support you. So they are also in the chat, and they will be saying hi to make sure that you know who they are, and they're here to support you. That's pretty much what they're doing. Yes, they're enjoying the webinar as well, just by the way. So now that we've got our checklist out of the way, I think we are ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to jump in. We've got a lot to cover today, and I'm so excited about making sure that you walk away with everything. You walk away here with tools, with the clear view of where you are, but also of exactly what to do next. Hi, Asanda. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, first things first. Let's kick into gear. Let's kick into the next gear. Now, this is second gear. We're speeding things up a little bit. So if you've got a notebook, a pen, something to write down notes with, please get that nice and ready. First question that I have for you as we start officially today. What was your word? When we kicked off this year, January, 1st of January, fireworks and everything was optimistic and you felt like you could take over the world. What was the word? What was the theme that you had in mind for this year? You might need to page through for some of us to see what that was, because you might have lost sight of it. But what was it for you? Go ahead and into the chat and let me know. What's the word that summarized what you intended for this year to be, what you wanted to build this year, who you wanted to be this year, how you wanted to show up? Let's see what those words are. And if it's something that you've got very, very clearly in your day-to-day life, it might be super easy. It might come straight to mind. But if it's something you've actually lost sight of, you might need to page over a few times and find it. But whatever it is, let me know in the chat. I'm seeing breakthrough. Ooh, this is good. Accelerate. That's a great word, Liz. I really like that. So you say refinement and tapping into your higher self. Build. Oh, Letu, that's such a powerful one. Just build. Tembi, breakthrough. It's fascinating how breakthrough has come through twice there. Very interesting. So let me know what your word is. And those of us that didn't necessarily put a word, maybe you didn't have a specific word for the year, but you had a theme, you had an energy, you had a feeling. Sometimes that's what some of us have, and that's enough. But if you have a sense of what that is, please put it in there. Another one that I'll often say, and I don't speak about this enough, but some of us will even just decide on a color for the year, or a song for the year, or maybe we'll just decide on a shape for the year. Maybe this year was a star year, or maybe it was a circle year. So if that's what you've got going on, go ahead, let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear what that is for you. What was 2026 intended to be when it started? Changing your attitude. Hi, Simon. So good to see you. Brilliant. Very nice. Great job, everybody. This is really exciting. So for now, don't worry too much about, oh, but I didn't live up to that. Oh, it didn't quite work out. Just honor what you wanted to intentionally show up as when the year started. Very nice, Lorraine. Restart. So let's jump right in. Now that we know what that word is, the most important thing becomes this. At The Unlearners, we do some very exciting work with organizations, but also with individuals like you and I that are going through change journeys, or what we call unlearning journeys. And what we know is that we live in a world of consistent, ongoing, non-stop change. So while one thing is changing in one area of our lives, there are often so many other moving parts that we're navigating. So it becomes really important for you and I to think about how we honor ourselves, how we honor what we're building, but also the intentionality of being able to do change and do change well. It's a very, very big part of what we do, very much like the work we do with organizations, but individuals, it's a big part of the work we do in the circle. So if you're a member of the circle, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You can give me the word circle in the chat if you are a member of the circle. And if you're interested at all, I will be sharing information with you about how to join the circle right at the end of the webinar, so you don't get a shock when I do, just in case you do want to join us, because we have had some incredible conversations with some individuals that have said, I want to join already. I know, where do I sign? But anyway, we'll get to that. For now, let's do the work. So you now know what your word is. So you've recapped on your word and your theme that you intended to have at the beginning of the year. Now let's talk progress. Hold your breath if you need to. This is the point where we're actually going to track what's worked and what hasn't. So let's get serious. Let's do some work. First thing, I'd like you to go into the chat. Feel free to also make notes on the side of some of these items and things that we're working through and talking about. First things first, I'd like you to go into the chat and think about the first half of the year that's now gone by. What's one key win you can think about so far this year that has happened? It can be something that you might think is a big thing. It can be something that you think is a small thing. But if you think back on the last 6 months, and we won't count July, last 6 months, and you think, wow, I really won there. That was really incredible. That was amazing. I'm proud of that. Or I did well there. Or, ooh, wow, I'm amazing. I'm that girl, or whatever it is. Go over into the chat and let us know, what is that win for you? What's that win that you can share as we now start to recap? This is the recap part of our webinar to make sure that we've taken stock of where we sit right now. So what is it? Go over into the chats and let me know. What's your one big win? Feel free to share more than one as well if you're getting into that energy and you're really excited. Liz, congratulations. Wow. I'd love to hear more. That sounds really exciting. Very nice, Simon. I like that. Chris, good job. These are really exciting wins. When we launched officially, or when we started the year and hosted what is called our Start 2026 Aligned webinar, one of the things we made sure that our unlearners practiced and built a habit around is celebrating your wins. It makes a huge difference as far as creating a change when you can build momentum into it, momentum that comes from actually achieving tiny little breadcrumbs along the way. And so that's a part of this. That's how we designed this webinar, to make sure that we're building in some of the key levers that make change successful. So I love that. We've got some really great changes. Yay, Barisa, yes. And I have been a witness of that incredible work. Really good. So now that we've got those wins out of the way, make sure you share your win, because the next one is going to shift us into a slightly different perspective. So go ahead, share your win. Being open to being part of a community. Dr. E, it's been incredible to hold space for you there. Okay, let's jump right into it. So now you've got a win, something that was really an inflection point during the first half of the year. Now, here's what I'd like you to do. And this might feel a little bit more challenging for you, but I'd like you to go over into the chat and let me know what's an ouchie that's happened as far as the first 6 months of the year. Something that didn't feel so great. Something that when it happened, it knocked the wind out of your lungs, out of your chest. Something that when it happened, you felt disappointed. You felt upset even. You felt angry. You felt yourself backtracking on who you thought you were becoming. You felt like there was a dissonance between who you were trying to be and what was now happening. Go over and share that ouchie in the chat if you feel comfortable to do so. What were some ouchies that happened this year? Or low points. We can think about them as low points as well. These ones are coming a lot slower in the chat. That's always interesting to watch. I think when I think back on 2026, there have been a few ouchies, but the ones that hit the most, and I can feel them now starting to make me a bit emotional, but it's losing individuals. There've been a few sort of passings in my family, but also in friend, acquaintance spaces this year, that every single time they've happened, yes, I've had the benefit of being able to reflect and really look at the impact that I'm making in the lives of human beings. But when they happened, they just, it's just tough. You sit there and you contemplate, and you very, very, very low dips for me, I must say. So yeah, for that reason, 2026 has been quite the year. Yeah, absolutely, Liz. Yeah. And this is the thing, and what you'll see, Liz, on the journey of unlearning is that a lot of how we respond, a lot of how we project or act or choose in our day-to-day lives is often linked to conditioning that sometimes we don't see. And I remember, not to now take a complete sidetrack, but I've also had to do a lot of unlearning work around my worth, around finances, around, our business. So there's a lot that's going on there, and I'm sending you all the hugs and all the great energy. Thank you for trusting the space enough to share that. Focus on other rather than staying focused on my goal. Yeah. And you can do both, right? But I think that's the beautiful thing, is that often we've been brought up around duality. I can either be this or be that. I can either have this or I can either have that. I can either be well off, earn really, really well from my work, or I can be generous and kind. But sometimes, and a lot of the time, unlearning is about understanding that we can break all of those sort of putting things into boxes. Sometimes we label and we segment. We can bring all of that and redesign what that looks like for us. Okay, fantastic. Really good. Thank you to everyone who shared their ouchies. I can understand that would not have been easy. So now we've got the perspective, one, of what we wanted when we started off the year, but then also one high point. So understanding that this year has so far been a gift. There have been some incredible things that we can be proud of, that we are proud of, that have happened. But then two, there have been moments that have taught us something. And maybe what I'm going to do really quickly here, and this was not necessarily something I planned to do, but I want to go back to the ouchies and ask you one other question around this. What's one key lesson you've learned from that? The unlearners in the room that are part of the circle and the members of my team know that I don't let anything go away without a lesson.